What's up, guys? Coach Dave from the Dirty Fork. We wanted to bring you guys a video discussion today on metabolic damage. So one of the things that can happen with a lot of these diets that we see today is people have a tendency to take them way too far. A lot of them have really good principles, but sometimes we kind of get so caught up in wanting to do it as hard as we can that we maybe misinterpret it a little bit, and it causes us to take them too far. Obviously the most common body composition goal out there is wanting to lose weight. A lot of times people will come to us with that goal, and where we're able to see the successes versus people not having success is really where that kind of basal metabolic rate exists for each person. So the very first thing that people have to understand when they want to lose weight is there has to be something to cut from. So if you are starting at just a rock bottom metabolism, there's nothing that can be pulled out of that in order to cause you to lose weight. You're already at bottom. So one of the favorite quotes that we like is, you must possess the metabolic capacity to burn fat. So your body has to be able to even have that ability to burn fat. If you are, like I said, starting at this base level, there's nothing that you can burn from because your metabolism tends to be so shot. It's really obvious to us, when we see people outside of the gym or in the gym, people that tend to really train really hard, have an amazing work ethic, come in, 5-6 days a week and just really hitting it hard, but perhaps aren't seeing the body composition changes that they want to see. It all has to do with just that metabolism. Likely, and this has happened to me before, I've seen it happen to others, they just get in this position where their metabolism is just completely shot. And once that happens, it can be repaired, but it takes some time to repair it. One of the analogies that you can kind of use, which I have no idea if this is even true, but you always hear it from mechanics and whatnot, is, one of the things I always remember when I first started driving a car was people telling me to always fill the gas tank up all the way. If you're constantly just putting in like a couple bucks here and there, that's not good for the engine. Like I said, I have no idea if that's even true, but it's a really good analogy for the sake of metabolism. If you're just kind of constantly throwing just the bare minimum just to start it up and just to get it through the day or just to get you to A to B, ultimately you're gonna really bring that engine's capacity down. So you wanna be filling up that gas tank. You wanna be providing your body what it needs across all macronutrients, across all different types of foods. You wanna be filling up that engine. That's when your metabolism really starts to hum. That's when you then have the ability to pull the strings on your body composition. You want to add muscle, add muscle. You want to take fat away, take fat away. But without the ability for your metabolism to do that, it's always going to operate with just enough to get by. It's never going to be able to make changes. It's always just kind of clinging to that near state of failure. So one of the things that we want to kind of go through is some of the causes of this metabolic damage, because in almost all instances, it's always the same thing. First and foremost is people on a long-term hypocaloric diet. If you're just slash and burn at all times, your metabolism is going to go. So if you're at 800,000 calories a day, sometimes even 1,200 calories, we don't really like to get into thinking of food in the form of calories, but it's just the most recognizable way to identify it. If you're eating that low, your metabolism is going to come down. I used to work with a lady back when I did personal training who came to me wanting to lose 25 pounds. She was overweight, and I had her log her food for a month, and this lady was eating nothing. Like, we're talking chicken breast, a thing of yogurt, and maybe an orange, and that was her food throughout the whole day. And she could not lose this weight. And when I worked with her on how to bring that weight down, one of the first things that I had to convince her of was to quadruple her food intake. And this just did not compute with her, because she said, why would I eat more if I'm trying to come down my weight? And it's a long education process of a metabolism that's just completely wrecked. And in order to fix that, you gotta go back up. So if you're cutting calories, if you're only going down, trying to find a solution, you're going about it the absolute wrong way. You gotta bring your intake up. So this is one of the big no-nos, a long-term hypocaloric diet. Number two, long-term carb deprivation. If you are under 50 grams of carbs per day for any longer than a cutting cycle that you might be on, you are kind of playing with fire with that. As we'll kind of get into in much further issues, carbs are very important. You do need them. Let's be perfectly clear on that. I know there's a lot of diets out there that say otherwise. If you are really slashing and burning your carbs for a very long amount of time, then that's going to have a negative effect on your metabolism. And last but not least is steady state cardio. Study after study, this is not my opinion, this is fact, just further implicates the steady state cardio of perhaps stationary bike, running, treadmills, anything that keeps your heart rate the exact same for periods of an hour or longer. Over time, that's going to have a negative effect on your metabolism. You're releasing a lot of cortisol. It's just bad news all around for your ability to intake and break down food. So if you're doing that and you're seeing a lot of fat around your midsection remain, I can tell you right now it's because you're straight up running too much. So that can be a big cause of it. These tend to be the big three though. It's a bit of a generalization, but 9 out of 10 people, I would estimate, it's probably an indication of those three things. So how do you fix it? That's kind of the big question. Number one is patience. However long it takes you to perhaps get into that state where you've damaged your metabolism, if that was, say, 6 months on a crazy long-term cutting diet, it's likely going to take you 6 months to repair it. So this is how your body works. It's science. It takes some time. You got to kind of understand that going in. You might see some temporary weight gain as you're repairing it because your body is not used to the calories that you're providing it to fix it. So it's going to react by storing that. Over time, your furnace is going to get hotter and hotter, and then it's going to start to burn that again. But you got to be patient with that process. Number two is a slow increase. So if, say, for example, you might fall into category number 2 here, and you're just eating no carbs, which is what a lot of people tend to do on the paleo diet, is just bring those carbs to 0, which is a bad move. You want to slowly increase. So think about maybe adding 1 meal a day your first month where it's additional carbs. Then maybe the next month you're at 2 meals a day. So that's different for each person, but it's just a slow intake. Don't go from 0 to 60. Don't go from removing carbs to your diet to eating 2 burritos a day or a whole pizza a day. Just have some kind of common sense with that. Number 3, stop focusing on calories in versus calories out. Get rid of the notion of calories. Our follow-up video in the next email is going to be all about that. This is antiquated. This is the earth is flat type of stuff. You got to kind of get this out of your brain and think about food as a whole and not as far as how many calories they're worth. Last but not least, lose the turkey and broccoli mentality. When I used to train in Globo gyms, you used to always see people walking around with like tilapia, broccoli, turkey breasts, broccoli, just bland diet food. Lose that. That is a solution to cut for a short amount of time. It is not a way that you live. So nobody on planet Earth can sustain themselves eating flavorless chicken with flavorless vegetables all day. So lose that mentality, start thinking about more all-inclusive foods, start thinking about kind of a larger scale picture of how your food intake works, and you're going to start to repair your metabolism, you're going to start to be able to handle foods a little bit better, and you're going to start to be able to kind of create that ability for yourself to either go up or down with body composition changes. But so long as your metabolism is broken, you're not going to have the ability to do anything with your body, so you got to fix it.